Hi, this is Sean Murphy of SK Murphy. I'll be the MC for today's May 11th PATCA meeting. We're fortunate today to have David Bachnia. He has a BSE and MS in engineering management. He brings over 30 years of experience in developing and leading technology products and teams. He served over 400 clients and built cross-functional teams that have delivered over 20 complex products and programs. He works as an Agile coach, a technical manager consultant, and an instructor at the Silicon Valley campuses of UC Santa Cruz and Northwestern University. He's talking today about adaptive, innovative teams. David.
Well, thank you very much, Sean and everyone else, and greatly appreciate PATCA for giving me the opportunity to share a few tips and tricks with everybody here. Gosh, this is a big chunk of applicable understanding and working practice that I'm bringing from both from different industries that I've worked, and I'm sharing tips and bits and bytes of that with our students at Northeastern University, and as well as wherever I have a chance to share with our team. This is how we build from scratch a team that is adaptive to growth, yet innovative enough. And that goes with, I'm going to share with you the agenda for today. I start with the definition of what we're doing and what we want to go through. Then we jump into the values of team building and different, at high level, different tools and techniques. Then how we can seize and capture innovation and intellectual property from smaller team of 7-8 people to larger team of I don't know, maybe teams of teams. And then we look at assessing, adapting, and growing in our area. Then I'll have a Q&A session. Of course, if you have anything that in the meantime you have a question, please feel free to ask any question. Sean, thank you very much for whatever you said about me. I have more than 35 years of experience. Thanks to PATCA, I am a member of PATCA as a consultant, and I've been teaching at Northeastern University as well as some other areas. I have a private practice here as providing agile project program management in technical areas and other things. So I have few. Thank you very much again for few questions that we have from audience. I'm going to address one by one. When we get there, I'm going to dive into the definitions, and that is the first understanding of what we want to share together. What is a consultant? Usually, we refer to ourselves or some other subject matter experts as people who have done things, know how, and have failed and learned. Or maybe you are luckier than I am. You haven't failed, but you've learned through the process of serving your industry, your leadership, and other areas. So we're talking about colleagues, experienced colleagues. We're talking about maybe some vendors that coming to us, or we have had the chance to work with, mostly talking about service providers, either ourselves or some service providers who have worked with us. As a consultant, we've worked with marketing, with sales, especially in my area. Technical consultants are not that good in marketing what we're good at. Talk to any good hardware engineer and ask them how they want to market their service, and you'll feel what I'm saying. So this is in general what we call ourselves as consultant. So we serve our clients, and our clients can be in any space, any market, any size, with whatever service we are expert on. And the service and expertise can go at any direction. I'm not limiting on any of these things. So we are serving our clients, our customers, our end users, our stakeholders, our sponsors. And by doing that, usually back in probably before I was born, consultants were just single sole providers. Nowadays, we cannot do that. It is any work that we look at depends on more than 3 people to put it together, unless we're dealing with a specific approach. New products requires many areas of expertise, especially if we're talking about technology products, hardware, software, then we're dealing with n number of people. That requires a good understanding about projects. What is a project? By definition, again, we are in definition mode. Something that starts and creates an output and finishes. And that output depends on what are the inputs, what our customers ask. And then we drive into creating the scope from our customers' needs, requirements. This creates the major failure for every project. Creating scope, understanding what customers want, not I think, not what I assume as a service provider, but what really customer wants. And going through the elicitation of what customer needs and capturing their real ask, and then creating deliverables and executing and monitoring the deliverables based on planned value, making sure the actual value is somehow aligned with planned value. By the way, we all know 70% of the projects fail because we cannot capture the customer's need and ask. Scope creep. Then we go through the project and we provide the project. Guess what? No subject matter expert does the project by himself or herself when it comes to new product. Now we go to definition of the product. Is an outcome of whatever we have, a tangible thing that provides a value for end user, for customer. The reason or the main definition or differentiation between a project and product is the return on investment. When we talk about product, we are looking at the end result that creates some business value. A project will lead to a product. I'm going to talk about that in more detail. That is the differentiation. A project ends. At the end, we have an output. A product doesn't end. Product. Think of like Microsoft Word. How long has it been in place? Or by the way, Microsoft Windows, and all those are as product. So you see how it elongates, and return on investment. Again, we cannot do by ourselves. We need team. And when it comes to the definition of team, is subject matter experts, you, me, our colleagues, the different talents, different way of doing that complements each other's work at a larger acumen, larger project, larger product. We talk about a product that requires many angles, different gears, different subject matter experts to put together to create a valuable outcome that is going to generate more and more and more return on any investment. Then when I go back to this definition of consultant, quite frankly, as a consultant, I'm looking at my client's pocket before my own pocket, their income before my income, because I'm providing a value. Therefore, My real job is to serve my customer to a point that they won't need what I have served till now. By doing that, I'm creating an environment, a relationship between myself and my customers, opening the door for them to ask more because I provided a good service, hopefully, right? That is why, as a consultant, I'm looking at how better I can serve my customers so they eliminate my job. Point and case, for instance, I have been at many of Connor before our meeting asked about Agile and Agile mindset. I have been engaged with a customer who asked me something way beyond what I was doing and looking at saving on parts and tools and material. And just out of nowhere, we created a little link Kanban board for them in 3 months. The saving from waste paid my salary for that 3 months. That is how we create the service providing as consultant. Question on that? Because this is a big word. I go in a consulting work, keeping in mind that I'm going to serve my customer to a point that they won't need me anymore. If no question, let's dive into team building. How do we create
So
team?
David, I had a question on that. So I hire an accountant, but I hire an accountant not with the expectation that I won't need him anymore, but with the expectation that he will use his specialized skills to take care of a set of problems for me. I hire a webmaster because I want somebody else to manage the technical details of my website. Is it a requirement of a consultant that they work themselves out of a job?
Okay, that in that case, I'm not looking at them as consultant. I'm looking at them as expert service provider. They're providing the service to you at something that is repetitive, that you want someone else to take care of that, and providing service to you so you can expand your accessibility. You can expand your business. That goes with accountant, office management,
Attorney?
online, attorneys online, and all those things. Look, as an attorney, for instance, if we hire an attorney for a specific project, once our agreement is over and the attorney provides us the service we have asked, their position at that point is eliminated. That contract is, however, depending on our relationship and how better I have served or they have served, this relationship elongates. And in case of attorney, he himself, depending on how small or large the job to be, most probably is going to need more help, hence team building. And then we're going to dive into what happens when we go to team building and what is the definition of team and how we want to go through different expertise in a team. We look at our partners. We look at different experts with different understanding, having different solution to scope of what we're doing. Then we start with ground rules, how we start working together. Why do we want to create this team? What are we pulling and what are we providing to our customers and users? Then we go into working agreements, some sort of guideline, and that depends from person to person, from market to market. And then we start this. Have you seen about this continuous improvement, continuous delivery? I'm calling it continuous improvement, continuous dependencies. And that is the dependencies of me as a consultant with all the teams that I have around myself. What are those teams we're going to look at? But I'm diving into how we start this team. From the project management world, I start working and looking around and trying to find out, I'm going to retouch on that, how we start forming our team. Going to our past experience, our colleagues, people who we know, we go through the forming of that team. And that starts helping us getting to know each other. It takes a short while that we dive into storming. And when we storm, we want to know from which angle we can help each other. What are different expertise that I'm bringing to your table, and what I'm learning from you for my next step. And while we're storming, we start norming. As we storming, we norm our relationship together. As we storming, we understand how better we can talk. We understand about it, a working culture between you and I, between me and the team. I understand how I'm going to communicate, in what level, different background, the time differences, and all these things come during the norming. We try to balance our relationship together till we reach that performing point. And that is the team of 3 to 300 people works and behaves and produce like a single entity. In project management, as soon as we reach to the end point, we go through the closing and adjourning. Because the project finished, we handed the project, thank you very much. At product level, we build a relationship that is going to elongate to the future. And we're going to build a sustainable future collaboration. That is something that Chuck have been talking about. And that is how we're going to go and see what we can do on team building. What are the values that we're bringing together? Why do we build any team? It's just because at any product, at any engagement, when the work is big, we want to divide the work and conquer the work. In other words, we're looking for experts at different subjects. I have with engineering background, I think I can do everything. Absolutely not. I am good at simple things, one area. When it comes to software, I'm going to need, for instance, Chuck's help. When it comes to hardware, I'll be betting on cause understanding. When it comes to marketing, I'm going to go to Sean. When it comes to writing and gathering community understanding, I'm going to beg on Tresa's work. So you see, we divide in a larger work into experts. And that is the value that we bring. We bring from the beginning with that understanding that we want to divide the work among us and then conquer this big chunk. While we're doing that, going through forming, norming, performing, we start building this trust relationship. We start understanding about each other's way of work. And that understanding creates collaboration. As the collaboration elongates, we expand our outreach. As our outreach grows, we create small community around ourselves and we grow our community. We start looking at what kind of communication level I'm going to have with Carl versus, for instance, Connor. How I'm going to reach out to Jackie and ask for something that I need help. and she is expert in project program management. Therefore, I'm basically expanding my market share. I'm expanding my outreach. Make sense? This is not an easy value, and it doesn't come cheap. Look at your age, look at your site, look at what you've learned. Even 10 years of experience and expertise is 10 years of experience that you bring in table. And if we put dollar sign on that 10 years, think how much value you bring to the team collectively. And that creates this sustainable growth. Only if we understand how we're getting together, what kind of communication we have, how we're adding value in general, and how we're interacting in particular. Question on that. Okay. Gosh, I think I have your attention. Do I? Let's think about the team building and what are the tools and techniques. We start with sourcing. I have a big project. I don't know, maybe medical device. And that project cannot be done by David himself. So I'm looking at some couple of hardware, some software developer, and I don't know, maybe some technical writer. So I start looking around my friends, colleagues. It's my sourcing time. I try to communicate with people from my current network, my past colleagues, anybody that I know. I start bringing them in table, communicating with them as what we have. Ah, gosh, there are so many tools. Tools are not going to do your job. You're the expert, subject matter experts, right? You're doing the job. Tools is to help you do your job either faster or better or more concise. So there are so many tools. I'm not going to dive into tools. I'm talking about you as the master of all tools. And tools come and go. We use tools and then we throw them away. But we choose appropriate tools. And by getting our sources and our colleagues and our experts, utilizing various tools, we start understanding about each other's way of work. We understand about each other's value that we bring on table as a larger team, as a larger work. I'm good at something, Chuck is good at some other thing. Welcome joining us, Donald is good at some other thing, and we bring everything together. This is a shared technology. This goes back to divide and conquer a larger acumen that not a single person can do. And this helps us utilizing various tools, different techniques. We talked about Agile, and what I'm talking is in general that mindset, Agile mindset. And when it comes to, for instance, techniques, there are like 17, 18 different frameworks. If I go with a single idea to any team building activity, I'm just interjecting what I think and what I know. How about we open it up? How about we share information together from the sourcing and getting into understanding each team members to communicating and utilizing different things? We are basically looking into how we can improve on different levels. So we have an approved way of working together. Make sense? Then it comes on the innovation. Think about it. You are your own brand because you're subject matter expert. because you are consultant and you bring years of experience with you. You are your own intellectual property. Now, if we are working in a company of 5, 6, 10, 15, 20 people, how do we capture a given intellectual property? Registered trademarks, copyrights, patents. How do we capture that? In one of the courses that I've written, I'm teaching at UC Santa Cruz, is managing international project. We're talking about international project. We're talking about project that spans over 5, 6, 10, and more countries. And capturing intellectual property and innovation at every level. You as a subject matter expert, you need to be mindful of new things coming up, new ideas being built among your teams, among different people. How you can look at new way of doing things among your subject matter experts. And as soon as we have that, we want to capture that. I have few points here. Gosh, if you look at look online, I provide about 30 something pointers to students. There are more than 100. Locally, nationally, and internationally. Every country has their own way of addressing patents and intellectual property in different levels that they do. For instance, here in California, I'm talking from California. Here in California, we have different levels of laws and regulation when it comes to addressing patents and capturing and registering it. One thing is very important, and that is the registration of the patent. As soon as we register any patent, that is yours, I think for about some years, 17, if I'm not wrong. If you don't register, you don't have anything. So first thing is capturing what is my colleague who is dealing with this medical device that we're building, and he's writing firmware for it, and he came up with brilliant idea of connecting hardware, software together. And if I can capture that and look at that, as soon as I realize, I start opening another line of communication with my colleague and start capturing what we're doing, looking around to see if this is a novel idea. If it is, please start registering. Seize the moment. That is the return on investment for you building your own expert team. And that is how we can protect our intellectual property. Again, your expertise haven't come cheap. You spent your time, which is money, to get to where you are. You're entitled to the fruits of what you've accomplished. And that leads me to how to assess what I've done, what we're doing, and that is about the team building and how I'm going to adapt to what I have learned from projects, from programs, and teams that we have got together, build products. And now it's your brand. It is you who is the product and your team. How do we learn? And that is learning together. In some sense, we say peer learning. We look at continuously, we look at what we've been doing together. We inspect what value we have brought together for our customers at large. We inspect at how we've brought these things together, we call product. And we learn from what we've done or what we haven't done. and we adapt to new way of working together. We adapt and we change and we verify what we've learned and how we started building our little team. And this is, believe it or not, iterative. We like it or not, it goes through iteration. And then we start building on what we promised at first. Tinkering, testing, verifying what we've done, going back to adapting on better doing things. And that by itself, as I said, iteratively improve our relationship, improve our working together, improve the way we provide the value to our customer. Therefore, it improves our outcomes. It improves the product we have created. That by itself, we like it or not, we started embracing this collaboration awareness. We start working together and we continuously add to this collaboration one by one. And it is iteratively practicing. And we've been doing that from day one. And the next thing is how I want to adapt. I have a small team of 5, 6, 7 people. We've done this and now we're growing. How are we going to expand? And that goes to another question, how we can take a team and seamlessly pivot from one team to more team or maybe larger team, and then we expand that on creating and multiplying those teams, is going back to the beginning. Trust, focus, openness, and getting things done together. Focus on my expertise and your expertise and the way we work together. We start building from small team to larger team and from one team to N team. Before we know, we have created this iterative design thinking, system building approach. And that is what we're building and how we embracing this collective support. Now we are not a single expert. Now we are a group of experts. We have learned how to collaboratively provide much bigger value to much larger customers. This is not going to be done by one person. This requires this mindset, collaborative mindset, trusting environment, creating a way of work that we like to engage with each other, understanding about difference in culture, understanding about age, and getting rid of all these impediments that prevents us to become single entity. At the end, regardless of the number of the people or unit cells at each team, I'm looking at the team as a single system thinking, system-wide, collaborative body of knowledge that can conquer anything and everything that comes on their path. That requires mindset. And that mindset is collaboration. Collaboration of expert and knowledgeable workers like you and I. Question. Why I have everybody's attention? You're so quiet. You're very quiet. I think I addressed some definitions. Definitions of where we get who we are, consultants, subject matter experts, what we deal, our projects or products, how we deal, we create using different expertise. And then I dived into values of team building. Any question on that end? What about tools and techniques? I have been asked, what are the best tools that most project managers use? I don't know. Project managers right now, by statistics, are mostly using spreadsheet. And then again, when it's established organization, they use, for instance, Microsoft Project or Asana. Nowadays, when we're dealing with Agile project, as it's become a buzzword, as opposed to understanding the mindset, mostly they're begging on, do you know how to use Jira? For God's sake, Jira is not going to do the job. Sean is going to do the job. So the tools are tools. And the technique is what we build together. Technique is not something that is just coming from the sky. Is how we start working together. What is a good way of working together? How we build our inclusive environment? How we look at what is the outcome or output of our product or project to our customers? How we're satisfying our customers? Are we bringing smile to our customers and more money to their pocket? Or they're dealing with us how to get the report from what we're doing? That is how we use tools and techniques. And when it comes to working together, especially here at technical and professional consultants, we like it or not, we're dealing with new way of doing things, with new ideas, innovative products pops up from daily work that you guys are working together. If you see this kind of thing, please seize capture the moment. Talk to your team members and see where you can address or extract valuable information that you can share with many others. But then again, you and your team have worked on that. You are entitled to the fruit of what you worked. And then I talked about the growing mindset. This is where I have problem. And I need help from experts like you. How we can grow this mindset of inclusivity, collaboration, trust, working together, building trusting environment and associations, working together and sharing works that is outside of my expertise. And we're dealing with that here, it's especially in Silicon Valley and in technology area. Regardless of how we look at it, we're facing with that. So about seamless pivoting from smaller team to larger team. From the beginning that we start working, three of us working together, we start basically building a culture of working together. Cultivate that, please. Please, because that you're building the blocks of concentrating on how we work together, the way of work I'm talking about, okay? And that by itself creates from 3 to 4 to 5, and you bring the more people you bring, the better you start working on your culture and building relationship together. By doing that, as more people comes in, you would see, you would feel that the process of working together becomes harder, it's cumbersome. What we need to do then, all we have to do is look at who are the best or the closest working relationship, split it, but keep that culture working together. That is how we build, for instance, in software, Scrum and Scrum of Scrum. That is how we have done that among a group of volunteers internationally. And I'm not just talking about it. Go to svprojectmanagement.com and look at that. Group of international volunteer project program managers get together part-time, 4 to 6 hours a week. And now we have 5, 6 teams internationally. Most of us have met each other only online using Zooms. And that is how we grow this mindset. And that depends on the culture. You need to grow your own team.
So
And once we have our
David,
team, yes, sir.
I had a question for you on team size. A little while ago, you said a team of 300, and I'm still trying to wrap my mind around that.
Yes.
I think of a team as kind of maxing out somewhere around maybe 16 to 24 people.
Great question, Sean. Excellent question. That is how we expand and scale what we do. A team, I would say probably somewhere between 3 to 8 is a good, well-connected team. Once we go over 10 and 12 and we expand to 20, I'm thinking we need to have a little distinction and separate them, or not separate, but I have a distinction between teams and because the communication, interaction, and information sharing is going to take longer time, especially if our teams are scattered geographically, the time difference, the language difference, and other things is going to affect. So that is what I'm talking about, a team of 300. I go back to what I said. At first, subject matter experts, 5, 6, 10 of us get together, we create one team. To me, that becomes a single entity of different cells in it. Any environment, for instance, we had a word saying that motivating people among ourselves, so to speak. You've heard that cat herding. I'm not against this word, but among us professionals, we create that collaborative, interactive connection. We're not into providing lip service. We provide tangible output and tangible outcome to our customers. In that sense, the best motivation is what you're doing and how I can help you do what you're doing better. And that going through the process is going to create that culture I just talked about, and how we can help each other to grow and do better job. Continuously, iteratively, we retrospect on what we've been doing and how we're doing and how we can grow the value that we provide to our customers. There's so many things in it that cannot be address in 45 minutes or an hour. I'm going to provide my contact information. Please feel free to reach out to me anytime. Let me know if there's any way I can help. The first phone number is my office phone number. The second is my mobile. This is my online calendar. I've been building this agile and scaled value project management with group of people. I'm providing part-time and full-time or full-time training using, and you can take a look at the SV Agile, and there's some of my courses and projects there per training. And I'm supporting my clients, small number of clients, and whoever that I can add any value to their products and services. Check out, I'm sorry, that's not SV Agile. The second one is esolutionlab.com. There is a typo here. I will fix that, and I will provide that to Teresa and Sean to share with you.
Dave, thank you very much.
Yeah. How about
go ahead.
putting
Any final questions for Dave?
Yeah, how about putting some of those links right in the chat? The chat is savable with this Zoom meeting.
Sure. Which links would you like to put in chat?
Whatever ones, David, you think are appropriate. I'm just suggesting that you can't cut and paste off the screen.
Right. I will
That's
do
all.
that. I will do that. Let me just stop sharing that, and I will just post everything on the chat. Anything else that you think I can help? And thank you everybody for your time and being with us today, and looking forward to seeing you and serving you further and more. Thank you, Patka.
Thank you, David.
Yes, thank you, as always.